The more stocks you appear in, more themes you appear in, of course, the more likely you are geared towards the most important drivers of the next few years. And that's how we get granny shots.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now, guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. Tom Lee shares why probabilities favor Trump striking new trade deals with key partners. We'll cover trade dynamics, negotiation tactics, and future impacts. Stay tuned to dive deeper into these insights.
This is the update for the Granny Shots ETF for the week of March 30th. I want to cover some particulars first. The price as of March 30th was 1814, NAV of 1815, and total assets of 866 million. It was a tough week for Granny Shots. Granny Shots ETF is down 2.73% compared to a 1.5% decline for the market, or underperformance of 121 basis points. The reason for this is really macro. The markets have become risk-off, and it's because of Tariff Liberation Day, which was April 2nd, has triggered a lot of concerns for investors because it was worse than expected. It was a 10% base rate for imports with an additional tariff rate for other countries that have large trade deficits with the US. President Trump referred to this as the operation is over and the patient has lived, but the stock market reaction has been very negative. The S&P on Thursday opened with a 3% gap down, and throughout the day, stocks were reeling. One of the reasons stocks were reeling is that investors were hopeful that these tariff levels would actually be dialed back, but Commerce Secretary Lutnick made multiple media appearances and insisted that President Trump is not going to back off, and that added to selling pressure. Even Peter Navarro did an interview on CBC reiterating that these are not negotiable, and it sent stocks reeling. So overall, the S&P fell 5% on the day after Tariff Liberation Day. That's not what I would have expected, and I don't think a lot of people expected. It was a negative surprise. But I want to give you a rundown on our take. First of all, the tariff rates that were shown are absurd. You've heard from many people talk about this. They are very hard to believe because the tariffs levied on China, for instance, is 34% on top of a penalty of 20%. Europe now has a 20% import for all products. Japan 24%, Korea 25%. I mean, Japan and Korea are allies. Additionally, I'm sure you've heard, but these exhibited tariffs charged to USA rates are not actually tariff calculations, but it looks like it's some measure of the measure of the total deficit to the amount exported.
Satoshi Nakamoto, the mysterious creator of Bitcoin, just turned 50, and what a milestone it is. At the same time, Bitcoin has officially become part of the United States Strategic Reserve, marking a major shift in global finance. Nakamoto's identity remains one of the greatest unsolved puzzles, with guesses ranging from famous cryptographers to secret government projects. Yet, despite the endless curiosity, Nakamoto's decision to stay anonymous has helped keep Bitcoin true to its original vision of decentralization. Listed once as a 37-year-old man living in Japan, Nakamoto's profile suggested a birthday of April 5, 1975. Now, half a century later, Bitcoin has grown from a bold experiment into a symbol of economic independence. U.S. President Donald Trump recently signed an executive order creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve, showing just how far Nakamoto's creation has come. Even as Bitcoin soared past $109,000, Nakamoto's fortune, over 1 million untouched BTC, remains frozen, continuing to fuel the legend.
Now, there are plenty of signs that Trump wants a deal. Now, I know I just showed you his lieutenant saying he doesn't want a deal. But keep in mind a couple of things. The implementation date for the higher rate is April 9th. That is a delay, and I think that's intentional. And in fact, Trump himself, and I'll share later, despite what Lutnick says, actually has commented that he believes that he can strike a deal. He gave an interview on Air Force One Thursday evening after the market closed, and he says tariffs give us great power to negotiate. Specifically, says every country's calling us. That's the beauty of what we do. We put ourselves in the driver's seat. If we'd asked for the countries to do us a favor, they would have said no. Now they're doing anything for us. The tariffs give us great power to negotiate. Now, keep in mind, 6 countries, maybe 7, are really at the heart of this tariff negotiation because they represent the bulk of the dollars. If you look at the dollar amount of goods imported on the left side, okay, and there's a lot of countries listed here. The overall tariff rate, according to Goldman Sachs, is 12.6%, which is actually better than Goldman feared at 15% was their base case. And the reason it's not in the 20s is because there's a lot of products exempted. But I do want to focus on those 6 or 7 that I just mentioned. Collectively, that's about $582 billion that are subject to tariffs, or that are, sorry, it's $2.2 trillion, and the overall tariffs raised from these are roughly $582 billion, or 70% of the tariffs. So at the end of the day, these are really the countries to focus on.
Billionaire investor and Shark Tank star Mark Cuban believes now is the perfect time to buy Bitcoin. As the stock market faces a major crash, Cuban took to X, formerly Twitter, to share his thoughts. He pointed out that while companies may eventually start buying back their own shares at cheaper prices, Bitcoin looks like the better move right now. When a commenter responded bullish, Cuban agreed but added, BTC is probably a better buy right now, suggesting Bitcoin might offer stronger opportunities than traditional stocks during this market turmoil. Some investors are already acting on this advice. One ex-user replied, saying they sold stocks before the crash and shifted their money into crypto, planning to re-enter the stock market later at lower prices. Cuban's comments come as more companies, like Metaplanet in Japan, start following Michael Saylor's strategy of adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets. Besides his Bitcoin support, Cuban stirred up some buzz earlier this year when he teased the idea of launching his own meme coin. Inspired by Donald Trump and Melania Trump's meme coin releases, Cuban said he would send all profits from his coin sales straight to the U.S. Treasury to help tackle America's gigantic $36 trillion national debt. However, he also warned that meme coins are a game of musical chairs, and potential buyers could easily get wrecked, reminding everyone of the risky nature of crypto speculation. Known for his love of Dogecoin, Cuban even allowed fans to buy Dallas Mavericks tickets and merchandise with Doge, showing he's not just talking about crypto. He's been living it too. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.